We just want to take this opportunity to thank everyone for being here and participating with us. It's really a pleasure and an honor to see a lot of friendly new faces and a lot of old familiar faces. I do want to ask a personal favor. We do have a Facebook, despite the fact that he thinks it's hooey. It is not. We're going to ask you to please visit our Facebook, friend us. We will start ramping up now that our communications manager is coming in, but he'll finish his talk later.
Yeah, please visit our Facebook.
Okay, visit our Facebook, yeah, okay. So in any event, listen, I want to, you guys know who I'm talking about. You can start the music, please, so I don't screw this up any worse. Okay, so we're welcoming in our own self-employed real estate investor, Vanilla Ice. So give it a big hand.
Oh, yes. I know this song. It hasn't been that long. Hi, everybody. Nice to see everybody.
Okay, so listen, we're going to have some fun with Mr. Vanilla Ice. Take as many pictures as you want. Again, he's going to be off to the side at the end of our interview. But I'm ready whenever you are, sir.
I'm ready to get kicking.
Okay, let's go.
Here's
some water for you.
All right.
And one of the biggest things I think everybody that wants to know about is that, of course, that famous song that you wrote and performed back in the, I don't know, when was that song out?
At least 2 years ago.
At least 2 years ago.
Don't laugh too hard.
So, when I was doing research for our interview, I found out this fact, and it's kind of amazing. The hit record Ice Ice Baby spent 16 weeks at #1, and it's only one of 40 songs. Out of all the songs you ever heard, only one of them that has made it to the top notch for that long. And I think we're just that alone. Getting back to your career in music, I know that you listened to a lot of your brother's records as you were growing up. Would you mind giving us some information about who influenced you, who you liked, who you listened to a lot?
Sure. I definitely did. My brother, he's 5 years older than me, and I took his records. He had a collection, and I would take them out, vinyl records, which we don't have anymore, really. So I would go through those, and I had a machine called an SP1200, which is a sampling machine. It's a drum machine kind of thing, and it would sample little pieces of songs. So I would hook it up to the turntable, and I would go through his records, and I would find songs, and I found ding, 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 ding. I took that little part, and I sampled it, looped it, and put beats behind it, and then I wrote my own poetry behind it. But what got me into music, because I wrote that song when I was 16 years old. But what got me into music was poetry. I started off with poetry. I've always had a fascination with poetry. I just sent my mom a nice poem for Mother's Day. It's all about poems. That everybody in my family knows that I always get my messages through poems and short phrases instead of long therapy. So it hits better, and it makes more sense. You don't have to, it's more efficient. But I wrote that song when I was 16 years old. I used to break dance, and I was at the mall at 14 years old with a piece of cardboard and a jam box. And I would make probably $40 a day at 14 years old, which is more than the rich kids across town could get for allowance. Because if you remember back more than 2 years ago, $40 was a lot of money. My rich kids that lived across town, they were getting like $5 a week on allowance maybe, and that would last a whole week, you know. So I would spin on my head, chase the girls around the mall, eat some pizza, see a movie, and still have some change left over, and get to break dance and do something that I love to do. And I would be there on the holidays, and people coming in and out of the most busy door, and they just pitch some money in there, and I spin on my head, and me and my little breakdance team got the name Vanilla Ice. That led to me wanting to write poetry, and then I started writing it, and then I figured out a way to get into a studio and take these beats and these rhymes that I was writing and put this kind of chemistry together and come out with a record.
That's great.
And when my record first came out, it was on Ichiban Records. I sold 48,000 copies, which is the same record that got bought by Capitol EMI Records, Charles Koppelman in New York City. And now to date, it's over 163 million.
What a great
great job.
And
Good work.
it's the most sold hip hop record of all time, ever. And I don't have an ego, so it's a cool thing. It's a good accomplishment. But, you know, the way I work is I got to have something to strive for in the future, because I always believe that yesterday's history, tomorrow's a mystery. It's nice to see accolades and trophies on the wall, but you know as well as I do, all they do is collect dust after you've earned them. So I'm ready to get back on the starting line and get to another finish line, if that makes sense, you know? And I lost my ego a long time ago. So it's a great thing because it helps you strive and it helps you give you a purpose and a meaning to put your best foot forward.
Yeah, no, listen, I agree. And you brought up something about poetry, and I'm going to ask you something. If it's too personal, you let me know. When I was a kid, I tried to write poetry only because I was infatuated with the girl across the street. So my question is, did the infatuation come first, or did the poetry come first?
I actually was kind of the same guy. I would write little poems to my girls, and it kind of started that way, and it kind of fueled a little bit, and then I was like, wow, I really like this, you know, and then I would get little books and little poems. I was looking, even on my phone today, I have an app about poems and stuff, and I just want to find the right poem that fits. You know, it's like a card. You go once or twice a year, or how many ever times you got for a birthday card, a Mother's Day card, a Father's Day card, right? And you have to sit there and read all of them to find the right one. Well, I'm that guy with poetry, and I'm trying to read the right ones. And if the card doesn't have poetry in it, and it just says, thanks for being a great mom or dad or whatever, I'm just not over. I'm like, let's go get a poem. So I'm into the poetry.
It's interesting that when at young ages we both appreciated poetry, yet how our careers are so similar. We were playing your song before it came out. You didn't get the benefit of seeing me dance, and I'm not going to do it now, but it's nothing like what you can do in my career as well. I'm where I'm supposed to be. How's that? but you know, I want to welcome you. I want to welcome you to real estate, though, because I've been doing real estate longer than you, and I'm so happy to have you in our industry because you're doing it. Listen to it. His show, the Vanilla Ice Project, is on its 8th season. Can you believe it? So it's great. You got to have some staying power to stay for 8 seasons.
You find passion, and that's what happened to me. I didn't plan any of this. About 25 years ago, I got my GC license. I started building homes. 18 years ago, I went to design school. So I'm not just some rapper that just decided to make a TV show. This is real. And that's why I think people gravitate towards it. We have over 100 million viewers right now. It's #1 construction show all the way across the board. We even won the 10 o'clock spot for Saturday night, which is a primetime spot, 5 times in a row. So that's 5 factual awards we got for this show. So I'm really, you know, honored that people appreciate the hard work that it takes to make it in real estate, and all the chemistry that you have to line up, and a little fairy dust you got to sprinkle on top of it too. But none of it comes easy, and if you, like I said earlier, if you don't put your best foot forward and you don't have something to strive for, some ambition and some drive, you're really just kind of sitting there marinating in ideas. You got to make those ideas come into reality.
Yeah, I was wondering, and one of my questions is where you got the ideas on how to fashion your bathrooms and your kitchens and things like that. I did not know you were a GC. I'm sorry I didn't know that. But do you get your ideas from the road? Do you see something that you like and you take a mental picture? I'm going to take that, and the next thing I build in that house, tell me how that goes.
I lose a lot of sleep over this. Now, this is something that I really pride. I use a lot of artistic, touch with everything I do, like the same thing I would use the passion for music. So for me, it's art. It's not just putting paint and carpet and then getting a profit out of each house. And being here in South Florida, where I do most of my real estate, you know that it's a great fishing market for people who have a lot of money here. So they want the best. This is the lap of luxury here, you know, and especially in Palm Beach. It's crazy, and just all of South Florida, really. But I go out of my way to find things that are not on aisle 10. So if you can see it in a Home Depot or a Lowe's, no offense to them, it's not going to be on my show. For instance, if you haven't seen the show, or if you have, you'll see that we do the latest and greatest in home technology and home design. Right now I'm doing an 8,000 square foot house right here in Palm Beach for season 8. And I have a pneumatic elevator that's going in, a lazy river in the back, a helicopter hangar for landing 4 helicopters, not just one. Got the big door, the hydraulic door that goes in, because I live in Palm Beach. It's helicopter traffic over there. I've got a 100-car garage in this thing, so it's definitely above just sanding down a mantle and refinishing it and going, oh, that we turned it into its better glory days. Now it's nice and clean. So my construction show is a little bit above and showing all that, lap of luxury that we all know is here. So I do sell a lot of my homes. Some of them I let them marinate. The way that I do this, because the TV show doesn't have any involvement in it, I've been doing this on my own money, and it's all mine, and I have to still, I told your son earlier, I said I get to act like a teenager on the weekend when I go out and play my concerts, and then Monday through Friday I have to be a lousy adult and accept responsibility and get in there and grind it out. But so this season we have a lot of great things. We've been putting up wallpaper TV. So the flat screens are gone, and they have these you can just, it's a strip and it's flexible and it's 1080p 4K, and you just plug one in and plug another one in, and you can make any wall, any size, height, or anything your TV. And we're going to introduce it this year on the show. So I find these things out by going not just in the country, like I go to CES in Vegas, which is Consumer Electronics Show, and I find out what's the new electronics coming in for homes. Automation, we know that there's an app for everything. Now we have it where the house it's like Siri, you just talk to it. So you say, I want my kitchen lights 70% dim, and they'll go down. I want Forrest Gump to come on in my theater at 8 o'clock. My guests are coming over, and I want the turkey cooked at that time because I'm not home yet. And I want the thermostat at 70 degrees, and I want my landscape lighting on. And you don't have to have an app for it now. It's just you say it, and it just does it. So a lot like, what's that Alexa's thing? Kind of like that, but on a bigger scale. So there's little bitty microphones all around the house that make it do it. Design-wise, I go to Europe and I go to international builder shows, and I find out products, all kinds of crazy products that we can incorporate. From Murphy beds, Murphy walls, to just crown molding and different wallpapers that are textured, and glass flooring that's made of real crushed glass, and just really exotic, cool stuff. I go to places like the Baltic region, in Estonia, Latvia. I even go to China, and I stay in Dubai in these lavish hotels, and I walk in and I get these ideas, and I'm just looking up at the chandeliers and all the decor, and there's some nice stuff if you get outside the country and check it out, but you just got to kind of absorb it. So I use those as opportunities to get my ideas.
You know what? Based on what you just told me, watching your show is I'm going to have a whole new respect for it, because you're just not some figurehead that they're backing up the Home Depot truck and telling you to put this together and fight with your partner. You went out and took care of this stuff and looked for stuff.
That's right.
Okay,
I find it through all the different cracks and hurdles you have to go through to showcase on my show something that they just they didn't see on aisle 10, because no offense to all the other shows, they're great, but they'll just sand down a little mantle and they'll refinish it and put it on, or they'll go to their local hardware store, which is the most convenient thing, economical thing, and they'll put up paint and carpet, and there's their house, But we want to create something that's dreams are made of, because your home is your number one investment, because not in money, in the return, but in living, because you might renew your vows with your husband or wife in the backyard. You might watch your kids run up and down the street there. That's your home. That's the American dream. That's the world dream, is to own your home and decorate it the way you want, right? So a lot of people were thinking, since 2008, they were a little nervous about putting a new kitchen in because their mortgage is upside down, right? And they feel like, the house isn't worth what it used to be worth, so now I can't put a new kitchen in. And then they start to reframe their thinking, and they go, wait, this is where I live, this is my home, this is what I want, and I'm going to put a new kitchen in like the Vanilla Ice Project, and honey, you're not going fishing this weekend, we're changing the backsplash, And that's what it does. It inspires people to go out and live the American dream and put some money into your home, because it's not about, the return on it. Now, an investment home is different. An investment home is different. Now, the way I buy my homes that I do sell is not the conventional way. Okay, I don't buy homes that are foreclosures. I don't buy short sales. I buy auction homes. I have an attorney, because I don't have enough time to go to the courthouse and have an attorney go find all the tax liens. So he presents these tax liens to me that come in the form of, what happened is in 2008, the home market went sour. So a lot of the values went down. And those defaulted loans got bought out by different countries. You can actually buy it. So I buy a lot of my homes, believe it or not, out of China and India. China and India came over here and bought all these banks' defaulted loans. So I find ways to go through these little mazes and find these auctions that most people can't find. It's not on MLS. There's no lockbox. There's snakes coming out of the swimming pool and cockroaches, and it's in a nice neighborhood, but it's sitting there and there's no information on it. I've got to do title searches, and sometimes those end up in a dead end road too. They don't say anything. Just the last buyer was this guy. He defaulted, and then the loan went somewhere. So you track it down. I have a small, efficient real estate team. I own my own real estate company. I own my own mortgage company and my own construction company. And I did this by learning and reading books on my own at Borders. I went and I read this book by a guy named Robert Sheeman, who helped me figure out a lot of these little answers that I didn't have and nobody to answer to. So I just spend a cup of coffee and go to Borders and figure out these ways how to make money in every aspect of real estate. So I found out how to really buy these homes for pennies on the dollar, because everybody's heard this in all these little infomercials, but is it true? It is true, but there's a lot of red tape, a lot of it. I have to pay the attorney $5,000 to $10,000 retainer just to go to the courthouse to find me these auctions. And then he'll find an auction out. My last 3 houses I bought were out of India. And they're an auction, an absolute auction. You got to put in 20% down for the house. You can get it back if you don't buy the house or whatever, but just to enter the auction, you're going to have to put up some cash. That's a lot of red tape. For most people, they don't have that cash just ready to sit there. You also have to either have a loan of credit that shows that you're approved to purchase a house that's on the block for that price, which is a letter of approval, or you have to have cash ready to go. And it's aggressive. And if you're in a room and you know, or online bidding, or either way, you know, you'll have other people going against you. Sometimes you don't. And sometimes you can pick up homes. Like I just bought a home, and these don't come through all the time, so don't let it crazily inspire you to go out and do this, because you can still lose your ass. Okay? But
Okay, that's fun.
but I do want to let you know that if you don't play, you'll never win. So you got to play a little bit. But the best way to do it is location, location, location. You know your area better than anything, which is why I do all my stuff in Palm Beach pretty much.
Yeah, they're on the water too, aren't they?
On the water, all there in Malapan and Palm Beach area. It's sustained for over 100 years. It's not going anywhere. So it's pretty solid.
Yeah, when people think location, 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 that's where they think first. Yes. Listen, first of all, I'm impressed with the vernacular and the understanding of real estate, because here I'm thinking you're just going to be another pretty face that just got this stuff out. But you actually know what you're doing. You really sound like you know what you're doing. So that's great to embrace this career like you have. Would you mind if I talked about Ice Ice Baby just another
Oh, not at all. I mean, we can stand up and dance if you want. By the way, I got your pin here.
All right, and I got your shirt.
I love it. We traded out.
Okay, so my next question about Ice Ice Baby is, I understand that the hit was originally released as a B-side.
Yes.
For those youngins out there, the B-side is the backside of a 45 record that used to be about that big. I know for Landon and Jordan and my daughter, you guys probably never seen one. But it was released as a B-side. First of all, my question is, and you gotta remember, what was the A-side and how well did it do versus Ice Ice Baby?
Well, Play That Funky Music was my first single. That's the A-side. And it went to number 6, so it made the top 10 on Billboard. Yeah, it did great. But it didn't go to number 1, and it kind of just stopped and then fell backwards. So this guy out of Georgia, I believe, his name was Dave Morales, the DJ. I'll never forget it, because he's the one who actually did this, which you don't do anymore. Flipped the record over and played the B-side on the air. And the minute he did it, it got infectious, and it just took off like wildfire. And and we were selling 1 million records a day. Literally 1 million a day. It's still to this day, it's got a lot of records, because it's the number 1 selling debut record of all time for any musician, including Elvis and the Beatles.
Wow.
I mean, his first record has sold 163 million right out of the box. So it's incredible that it just continues going, and it's never left the top 200 on Billboard. Even last year, it sold 3 million copies by itself through the internet, and thank God for YouTube, right? Because these kids, I got kids coming to my concerts and college kids, because, you know, you can't pick your fans, they pick you. And I look out and I'm like, you guys weren't even born when I did this. How do you know this? And then somebody's back there going, they watch your YouTube. I was, oh, yeah, yeah. Thank God for YouTube. Oh, yeah. I mean, I come from the 90s, man. It's all, I miss the 90s. I wake up sometimes going, you know what? I spend way too much damn time on the smartphone. And at first I thought it was cool because we had an app for everything. Oh, look at this, look at this, look at this. But now I look at how much time I spend a day on that thing, and I just want to get rid of it. And I miss my flip phone, you know. I had a flip phone, and it was just, oh, there it is, okay, call, and, you know, put it away. I miss getting my movies at Blockbuster.
Well, you still do miss the night.
Too many damn channels and movies you spend forever right there and on Netflix, right? And, oh, my God, it just confuses you. You mean for the whole time it takes you to watch a movie, you finally found one, right? It's like,
I hate the fact now that my TV is smarter than me.
So let me ask another question about the video for Ice Ice Baby. I was reading somewhere that, or I think you said in another interview, that you didn't have enough money to put together the video even though it was already shooting up the charts.
That's right.
Well, how does that happen?
my song took off so fast that the guy flipped it over, and it was already #1 because it went like wildfire to other radio stations, because he called as a program director and said, you guys got to play this, you got to hear this, you got to hear this, right? And it just took off within like a month. The thing was #1 before I could even get a video recorded or even had any money to put a video. And people thought I was black because I was, I'm a rapper and I'm played on black stations, and I did the Stop the Violence tour where I opened up. I was the opening act for the opening act for the opening act for the opener. And I was on the Stop the Violence tour with Stetsasonic, EPMD, Sir Mix-a-Lot, and Public Enemy. And Chuck D, Public Enemy, came over and said, you got to see this white boy dance. He can cut it up. And the word kind of spread because I had my little dance team. And I remember, because most of the time the closing act doesn't show up for the opening act. You know, they're still at the hotel getting ready, and then they come later and they do their set. But I looked over and I was like, oh my God, Ice-T and Chuck D are watching me perform right now. I can't believe it. And I was like, oh my God, sweating and everything, and I'm trying to show out, and whoo! And that led to a record deal with Def Jam Records. On my way to New York, I landed in New York, and I got a call from Tommy, my manager, and he goes, do not sign with Def Jam Records. I go, forget you. This is my dream. I'm signing. He goes, I'll give you about 10 million reasons why, and I'm on my way there. Hold off. Wait for me. I said, okay. And I ended up signing with Def Jam, with Capital EMI, and later on doing what we did. But to get the money for this, this was all happened so fast. To find the money for this, we had to scrounge it out. So I borrowed money from people, and it only cost $5,000. For the most played video on MTV of all time. And that was probably the cheapest video that's ever been played on MTV. Because you remember Michael Jackson videos, Spielberg could have made a movie on that money that, they did.
Well, have you ever thought about going back and, like popular movies, they're redone and refocused with different directors? I would think it would be fun to watch if you would decide to go and remake that video that you did, but do it now. I think it would still be interesting just to watch the difference in the production, because like you said, $5,000, you're not going to get it done for $5,000 now, but it's going to be much better.
Yeah, it would be, but I can't dance that good anymore.
I don't know, man. I was doing research on you. I saw.
And incidentally, my daughter was
In spurts.
I know what that feels like. But my daughter was in Tallahassee, and you were just at Doak Campbell Stadium. She was there. She said you were fabulous.
Oh, thank you.
So I think that's a tribute to you for hanging around.
I appreciate it. Yeah, we played 150 shows last year, 18,000 seaters and above, all the stadiums. We did the I Love the 90s tour with Salt and Peppa, Color Me Bad. We had Coolio was on this, Rob Bass, all the stuff you'd hear at a wedding, if you're from the 90s, And just a great magical time, and the crowds would come out. We had the highest alcohol sales of any concert for the whole year. After the show's over, you look out in the venue, and it's just plastic cups everywhere. It's like, wow, it's like snow.
Let me ask you a little bit about the shows that you're doing. As a performer, and I'm not saying that you're old, but you're older than you were when you were at your...
You can say it. I'm the oldest teenager in here.
Okay.
In any event, tell me how it makes you feel to look over a concert group and to see 3 generations of people enjoying that song from a long, long time ago.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier, because a lot of them, they're college kids, which is the hardest audience to grab. They're not easy because they're like the epitome of everything cool, and if your dad likes it, it's just not cool, But my kids think I'm cool. I got a 20-year-old and an 18-year-old. My oldest daughter's in college at Wholesale in Orlando, and she's going to be an attorney, an entertainment attorney.
Good choice.
And she's already got a 6-figure job offered to her in New York City, so I'm really proud of her, and it's an amazing thing, But life is a roller coaster. You got to expect the unexpected, and you got to ride that wave, and you got to take it wherever it takes you, and enjoy it, because you're here for a short time. You got to make it a good time. So I'm honored that people appreciate what I do with the real estate, and I'm honored that I can still go out and do my passion of music and poetry and everything, and people are entertained by it, and I just enjoy everything right now.
No, listen, I'm enjoying the hell out of this. To be honest with you, I expected you to be a little different than this, and I appreciate your demeanor, and you're such a nice man.
Well, I can talk your ear off. Watch out. I'm the guy that's on the airplane with a Starbucks, a Venti, and I'll just tell you my life story if I'm sitting next to you.
I'm not going to say Chuck and Tommy warned me, but Chuck and Tommy warned me. Those are managers.
I haven't had my coffee yet.
Okay, so now I want to go back to the TV show again.
Yeah.
How did the TV show evolve? How did it come to be? In other words, did you seek out somebody because you had a passion, or did somebody see something in you and say, listen, I think, Vanilla, we can do something with this? Which way did it happen?
I didn't even want the show. I was like, this is not, I'd already been doing real estate for a long time. I'm very successful in it, and didn't need to show that side of me because I thought it might show too normal of a side of me,
Too normal, really?
And well, you think of Prince. They hide behind the mystery of the music, right? Like Prince was a genius at it, and he wouldn't show his personal life too much. And if you want to know who I am, read my diary, which is my music. Buy my music. You can find out through some sort of mystery and message who I am, right? And I thought that's kind of what there's a hidden law that says you're not supposed to be normal if you're a musician. So you want people to not be, not expose yourself too much to everybody and look too normal. But this is me. This is what I do. And they came to me and approached me, and he says, listen, this is the guy, actually, his name is Matt Levine. He did the bio on me, which is the behind the music for VH1. And a few years had gone by, I think 2 or 3 years. And it was only 2 seconds on the show. He asked me, he's in my office, they're filming, getting to know where I've been since Ice Ice Baby and To the Extreme and all that. And I says, well, I do real estate now. And then one of the questions was, how did you not end up like MC Hammer? I see that you're living really good. I fly helicopter, I've got all the exotic cars and the cool stuff that I don't ever get to use because I'm working too much, but it's nice, to have. So they look around and they see all these things, rock star to the fullest. That's me. That's what I do. But how did you not end up like MC Hammer? I says, I went to work. I never stopped working. I found another passion, and it's real estate, and I love it. And I keep getting better at it and figure out new ways to make money doing it. And it was only 2 seconds on the show. I showed them some plans, and it was off to Suge Knight hanging me over a balcony or something stupid, whatever they wanted to know about this show from 25 years ago. So I go, he calls me up. I didn't change my number. He goes, hey, it's Matt Levine. It's been about 2.5 years. Surprised you answered your phone. We're thinking about doing a real estate show on you. I said, no way, absolutely not. He goes, well, we know you do it. Are you doing anything now? I said, yeah, I'm about to close on an 8,000 square foot house. It was 2008 or something like this, and it had just right in the crunch, and this guy had basically knocked out the travertine to take the copper out. He had lost his ass in the house so bad that he wanted to recoup anything he could. He literally took the kitchen sink and every sink there and all the pavers around the pool pump, everything that you could physically take, even the railing, you'd fall off the second floor. But in a nice area, right? Nice houses all around it. And I made an offer on this house that was completely insulting, like all mine do. I make very insulting offers. But you never know until you start low, right? You never want to just assume that this is the number they're going to go for. So you start low. And basically, I did this first house, and he goes, do you mind if I come in and film some B-roll? And I said, well, okay. He goes, I can be there. So basically, from 18 hours from the phone call, He flew in the next morning from New York City, and he did a camera film of this house that I was doing, and he walked through it. Before he got on the airplane at Palm Beach to go home, he had already uploaded the footage to DIY Network, and he calls me up from there, and he goes, "We got a TV show." I go, "I don't want it." And well, I thought, like I said, I was hiding behind the music. I didn't need it. Why do I need it? I don't need it financially. I don't need to expose that part of me. Let me do what I do. This is my private life. I want to keep it private. He convinces me. He goes, "This is great. We're not here to show you drama or anything dumb. We're here to just show what you do. If it's okay, we'll just follow you around and let you kind of do what you do." I said, "All right, we'll give it a shot." And I had no idea it was going to be so great. And it fueled me as a passion-wise to show the world, because now I walk through the airport, and like I said, people come up to me and go, "Oh my God, I love what you did to the lazy river. I love what you did to the backsplash. I love that kitchen. I did a coastal design." And, they start to inspire them. In the homes I sell, I get these notes and I put them in frames. And I get notes from them talking about, "I'm never changing anything. You made all my dreams come true." I get goosebumps talking about it. And just the fact that I can go through and turn a house into somebody's dream, it's amazing to me, and it fuels me to do bigger and better things for the future.
Now, let me ask you a question about the decisions that are going to be made. I realize that you get your ideas overseas, and you probably get them wherever you travel. My question is, is it just your decision with regard to how you're going to put a house together? Do they just give you carte blanche and they say, "Just let us tape you"? Or do they suggest things, or just all vanilla ice ideas?
Yes, but there's no tape anymore.
And I do miss the cassette tapes, VHS tapes. No, yeah, that's exactly it. There's no designers on the show that do anything. I'm a designer builder, so I design the house on the CAD program. I get to see everything in 3D format. Thanks to the technology of today, you can see everything before you have to actually build it. And so I'll put everything in 3D CAD program, and then I'll look at it and I'll move walls and change things, whatever I need to do. And then I start building it. So as far as the design team and how everything comes out, interior design and everything, the color palettes, is all me. Everything is me, 100%, and they just film me. They don't get in my way, and I don't tell them how to edit the show.
And you negotiate that in, I have to imagine, because you're a pretty persuasive guy, so I have to imagine if they wanted you, they pretty much gave you whatever you need.
Listen, they're a production company, and they're corporate. They don't build houses. They want to see somebody who really does, and that's me. And they respect what I do, and we just had that verbally known. And yes, it's probably in the contracts. I have a manager, and I have to tell him what I want, and he'll put that in there. But they never intended to come and take over any kind of design input or anything like that. They just do what I do, and they're just as amazed as everybody else watching. So they have fun doing it. It's a fun. We're serious about what we got to do every day to get it done, but we do it in an entertaining, fun way. I take my guys on vacations all the time. I've been with them for over 23 years. My framers, my drywallers, my bricklayers, everything, my masons, all of it, all great friends of mine that I've known for a long time. I got a good, efficient team that I've built. I buy them lunch every single day when I don't have to. They love it. There's no punch clock. They all try to encourage each other hey, I showed up before you today. I made it before you. You came in, you were here at like 8 o'clock. I was here at 7. Where were you,
Let's face it, what boss lets them roller skate on the helicopter?
You see that? We get silly. My buddy Wes Kane on the show, he's a hard worker. He's a licensed contractor as well, so he's silly. We just like to have fun, but get it done. And that's what we always say. The more fun you're having, the better the work comes out in the end.
Yeah.
You put a little more passion into it. You kind of think about it when you're sleeping at night, what you got to get done the next day. So it just makes you think about it and marinate on it a little bit, better than if it's just I got to go to work, I got to punch the clock, and I got to sit behind this cubicle, and I'm just putting in these hours, and I can't wait to get to the next vacation and my weekend, and blah, blah. It's more of I can't wait to get to work the next day.
I know the feeling.
Yeah.
Now, we didn't negotiate this, and you're free to tell me no if you don't want to do it. I'd like to go out and ask some of the people in the audience if you want to take some, because we did all prepared stuff. I didn't want to be caught off guard. So if it's okay, I'll go out and ask some people in the audience if they can ask you a couple questions. If you don't get to ask them on stage, you can ask them when you take his picture with him, because you're all going to want to do that. And also, I saw you dance on the videos and stuff. So you said that you would dance with me. So what I'd like to do is when I'm done taking questions, I want my partner Jose to come up in our vanilla ice shirt, and we'll play a few bars of the song, and it'll be fun. I'll watch him, and then we'll try to stay with you. But let's ask some questions first. Let's do it. I'm just saying that in case Jose has to stretch.
I know how many of you, yeah, I'm thinking I need to stretch too, you know?
All right, well, give me a minute. Raise your hand if you got a question for Vanilla Ice. Hold on a second. Here you go. Here's your first one from the audience.
Hey man, you seem like a really smart guy. So we were talking about valuations earlier. And it's really easy for us when we're dealing with 500 homes that are all the same to make an evaluation and say that's worth 200. You're dealing with these one really cool, unique things. How do you create the valuation? How do you put a number on it?
I don't, and that's the reason I fish in Palm Beach, so I can do kind of what I want. But the way it works is I buy these homes so low below the appraised value that I can put in way more than if somebody just bought it on MLS or somebody bought a foreclosure or a short sale. I'm talking way lower. If it appraises at $2 million, I'm buying it for $500,000. So I can put in $1.5 million and still stay below the appraised value and bring it up even higher. It's just how you buy the homes that allows you to kind of do what you want in them, and also location. If you're around that nucleus, like you need your malls, your shopping malls, your turnpike, the beach, the airport, great schools, restaurants. That's people want to live around that now. I do statistic tests, and my team is, like I said, they're small but they're efficient. So I find out what kind of money is moving into certain areas, and I find out if they're family. I find out age brackets, and you can do all this by a little research online. And I target those areas. So a good one is Wellington. Wellington is now second highest median house price in the entire country for income, past Beverly Hills. And Palm Beach has always been number one, but that's old money. That's been there for over 100 years. So those ladies, they're 80 years old, 90 years old. They don't even come out of the house. They don't spend any money. It's just in the family estate, right? And they spend half the time probably over in Maldives or somewhere, So the new up-and-coming money areas where your demographic age-wise and median house price income is like Wellington, a perfect example. Bill Gates just moved there. It's, beside from Disney, it's the number 2 spot inland for tourism right now because of polo, because of the equestrian. You got to know these things, like where are people funneling to and where are they migrating to? And if you get in there before the big, huge boom of development, you can fish in there with any kind of hook and a little bit of bait and reel anything in and catch it. And I'm telling you, they're hot spots. And I find these out. I do research tests like you can find out where Walmart's building the next Walmart. And if they do it and it's in the middle of nowhere, just buy some land around it, trust me. They know something you don't. And they have a big corporate team that knows they don't fail.
Thank you. That's a complete answer. Hold on one second. I have another question for you, Vanilla. Hold on. So, question on the auctions that you're finding in all these other places. As a lot of investors in here, we buy a lot of properties that were distressed. 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12 was some really good years. That inventory is starting to dry up a little bit. We got to get a little bit more creative. So, for yourself and these auction properties that you're finding, is it drying up a little bit? And then what are you going to do when these properties aren't available? Great question. And yes, they're drying up. And not only that, it was great. I hate to say it because people were, it was turmoil. People didn't know where they were going from 2008. We had a good 10 years there that was upside down. But it was great for me because of all the inventory. And I would usually bid in these auctions against 1 or 2 people in the room. But now because of my TV show, they're finding out my method. And they buy my real estate course. I have a real estate course. And they'll find out my method, and now I'm in the room with a bunch of people from out of the state, New Yorkers, investors everywhere, and I've got 30, 40 guys. I'm like, why are you guys in the room here, man? Get out of here. This is my auction. I've been here. You haven't been here in 10 years now. And they're like, thanks, man. Thanks for the tip. But, it's definitely drying up, but there's always a deal. And you got to look at it like Warren Buffett says. Warren Buffett bought the train system when it was losing billions of dollars. And people thought he had finally lost it, and he was crazy, right? But he's the greatest investor of all time, so why is he buying something that's losing this much money? And he came out with the greatest answer, and I listened to him, and it's so true. He says, listen, if you look at the population of the United States today, it's over 430 million people. If you look at it when all of us were born,
20, 30 million. It's growing so fast. It grew like this, George Washington, all these things, Ben Franklin, and then you just went like this, and the population's growing. And Warren Buffett's answer was, people need goods, and the population's growing. It'll catch up to itself. And sure enough, that train system now is generating billions of dollars. It cleared everything that he paid into it, and now it's turned a profit, and he's a genius. He knew. If you just look at the simplicity of things, it's pretty simple. People have to have a place to live, right? Population's growing. Baby boomers, there's a new baby boomer generation coming right now. And, people are going to need a place to live. And they want to live under the sunshine, too, which is right here where we are. And, it's an easy sell for people that are freezing their ass off up in New York City, right? And they've been migrating here forever, but look at their population up there. They can't wait to get here. They make good money there, they move here. And now we're starting to get more businesses here. We're not just tourists no more. People can actually live here and make money now. We have industry coming in. We got a lot of things popping off here in Florida that's setting up a master planned community for pretty much the rest of the world. If you look at the population growth of every state in America, Texas and Florida, number one. Can't move to California, there's no more room. So people are moving here, and people from California are actually starting to move to Florida because of the tax benefits. They're paying all their crazy. I don't know if you've seen the property values there. It's ridiculous. It's worse than New York City with a one-bedroom loft. They're all coming here. It's the sun. You sell in sunshine.
Yeah, everybody loves sunshine. Anybody? One more question for Vanilla Ice. Hold on one second. Stand up, please. I'll give you the microphone. Love Paisley. Great shirt. We're going back.
So go back. One quick question. How many times did you fail in the music industry before you saw true success, and how did you react to the people that doubted you, and then after you gained the fame, how did they react? How did you deal with them?
I believe that you never fail. The people who fail are the people who refuse to get up. We all fall down. It's just a matter of if you refuse to get up and you accept the defeat. That's where you fail. If you fall down and you refuse to get up. If you get up, you'll succeed. That is a success. And if you believe the simplicity of life as far as like in general, it's not about how much money we have. It's not about how much fame we have or how many stupid followers we have on Instagram and Snap Crap and all that. It's by the way, we didn't have that in the 90s either. And I miss not having that. Now you're obligated, right? I got to check my Facebook today. I got to check my Instagram, my Twitter. But, I think that the real secret of success is happiness. I think if you're happy, that's it. I don't care. Got to find a passion and find your drive and your ambition and your purpose in life. We're all confused a little bit. Everybody is. It all comes in.
Are we gonna dance?
Look, speaking of happy,
He's getting
it's gonna make my kids happy to see this. All right, I want my children to make sure you get ready. Hold on one second. I'm gonna move the table so nobody falls off the. John, you want to cue up the song so I can get everything ready? Okay.
I love it. I got my backup dancers here.
We have not heard the song coming up. I gotta hear the song.
This will be just as entertaining for you.
Now I'm gonna try to watch him because he knows how to do it right, and
Well, we're gonna do something simple. Let's see how much rhythm you got, though. You only need a little bit.
Okay, hold on.
You only need a little bit. How's your rhythm? Yeah, all right. We're gonna step to the right. We're gonna do a simple little move. You're off. Catch up. There it is. Hey, that's pretty good. One leg up, one leg up, one leg up. Oh, I love it. Everybody signing him up right now. No more real estate for you. You guys are coming on tour with me.
Okay, so everybody listen. Vanilla Ice is gonna make himself himself available in the corner. He's going to sign photographs. He'll take pictures. He'll talk to you. And first of all, before he leaves, I want to make sure that we all give him a nice Broward County.